let's start. Uh, Thank you, Arundal, very much for sharing all those things that we really didn't know about Buddy. Yeah, so much. And also, Arindo, for Khub Sundar Bolle. And of course, Shomo. He started it off because he's the one who was very excited when he phoned me and he said, this is what happened, do you remember, during that particular conference, and this is how Piyush Pandey was so overwhelmed to be able to address such a large group. And it's true, PRSI can really jump up to the occasion, let's say. With me, actually, I knew Piyush over the years, but never enough to be able to work with him as such. It would always be hi, hello, when he was there at the cricket club with Arun, and we would just say hi from a distance, or at a party when we would just sit and chat. But I really, unfortunately, never had the occasion or the privilege to be able to come up close and personal with this great madman of an ad man. So to me, I just want to share 2 or 3 things which will come to you in the form of regrets. I have some regrets in life. And the regrets are all about what if? What if? So my first what if is, when I was with a big multinational which produced aluminium, I was handling their public relations, and we had this particular product. It was household foil. So we decided in our wisdom, let's say, that we would do a small campaign. Now, it was a huge company, multinational, but they had very small hearts. And somehow, I was not the one to push them to do something bigger. So what we did was we launched a 3-month campaign on household foil. We called it Super Wrap. And it was about how do you take a sandwich to school, wrap it all up in Super Wrap. So things like that. When we did a review about 3 months later, we found nobody had ever seen this ad. You can just imagine, you see the ads today. You have to go on repeating, you have to go on putting money after it, and only then can you get any kind of small visibility. But we got none. That's when I thought to myself, and I thought today, that what if Piyush Pandey had been around for that? I think he would have just turned the whole campaign upside down and inside out and brought it to all the housewives to make it a product that they would want to use. He would bring in warmth, he would bring in stories into promoting something like simple thing like household foil, and instead of selling maybe a few thousand, I think it would have sold millions. So I think that was one of my first regrets. What if Piyush had been around? He would have really done something else to it. Another time was when I was running the public relations of the Tea Board. Now, Tea Board is a fantastic institution. Arun and Piyush, they were all in tea at one time. But the Tea Board was a very venerable institution, all 10 floors of it, all with dusty files. And I don't know how I came to it, because that was my first job. And our business was to promote tea around the world. There was a small island near India, Sri Lanka, and they kept nipping at our heels, and they kept doing things that were far more creative than we could ever do. All we did was produce reams and reams of publications which went round the world. We translated it in various languages, but we didn't get to the heart of Indian tea, which I think in those days would have been a great chai lesson to us. Chai at that one time, Indian tea around the world. All we did was we had a few offices all around the world, and these beautiful women who would go to Brussels and they would go to all the trade fairs and they would just dispense tea. What if Piyush Pandey had been around then? What would he have done with that tea? He would have really done something that today would resonate with the rest of the world, with, as far as tea was concerned. They're doing it now with small tea companies or big tea companies, but the uninational promotion of tea is something that we really miss. I really wish we had reached out to Piyush Pandey to do that. Another time, another what if for me was another tea company. It was called Rossell, and they wanted to do a 10-day workshop on billiards and snooker. So we said, okay, let's do it. We did a lovely workshop. We spent very little money. To me, it was a great achievement if we could spend very little money. And that was not what you really wanted. So we did this wonderful workshop. It was a highly localized affair. Now, you were talking about thinking local, but this was not the thinking local that we wanted. It was something that stayed very local. It stayed in Calcutta. We got a little bit of publicity. But what if Piyush had been around? You know what he would have done? He would have said, oh, this is a tea company, and you're also wanting to promote billiards. Hey, billiards has 8 world champions in India. Let's capitalize on that. Let's do something with them. And what about the tea company? You're trying to promote something like billiards and snooker. Come on, let's do it. Let's give a run for the money to this other sport, like cricket. Cricket was attracting huge amounts of money, but billiards and snooker, hardly anything. And I think he would have pushed it to yet another level. So those are some of the regrets I have, that what if Piyush had been around for all those. So today I think we pay a very, very special tribute to somebody like Piyush Pandey, who I think was to use today's particular technology or technological, let us say, technology speak, to say that he was a true disruptor. And I think that is what made Piyush what he was. That's what made Indian advertising what it was. So thank you very much.